Hello everyone, I am Rupam, a practicing advocate with core expertise in arbitration and litigation of civil matters, including law governing companies. In the last video, I spoke about the new reforms which the government has introduced in the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 as a relief for MSMEs. Now today I'm going to expand that a little bit and specifically talk about the introduction of another new section in the IBC, which is Section 10. Now let us know more about what is this new Section 10. As we already discussed in the last video that due to this pandemic, companies both small and large are taking a hit. Keeping this in mind, the government has tried to introduce some measures so as to lessen the burden on these companies and give them a chance of revival. The central government, by exercising its power under Section 242 of the Code, is introducing this new Section 10A to deal with the situation in hand. This section would suspend the applicability of Section 7, Section 9 and Section 10 of the Code for a period of, let's say, 6 months to 1 year. This means that during the applicability of this section, no insolvency resolution process would be initiated by anyone, whether it's a financial creditor or an operational creditor or corporate debtor itself. Now, Section 7 and Section 9 of the IBC deals with insolvency petitions filed by the creditors, whereas Section 10 of the IBC deals with the insolvency petitions filed by the corporate applicants. Now, let's see who is a corporate applicant or a corporate person. As per Section 3, Subclause 7 of the IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code is IBC in short. Corporate person means a company, a limited liability partnership, LLP, or any other person incorporated with limited liability under any law. But it does not include financial service providers such as banks or any other financial institution. Now, what is the purpose behind this Section 10A? We all can see the definite slow in the economy due to various factors caused by pandemic. Whether large, medium or small, all companies have been hugely impacted. The growth of these companies have been hugely impacted. Now, this new Section 10A has been introduced as a breather for companies who are facing financial distress, as this gives them a chance of revival, since no creditor would be able to force the company into insolvencies even if these companies fail to meet their financial commitments during this time. Now, suspension of IBC or insolvency proceedings for 6 months also removes an element of risk for a company while it is trying to secure necessary financing, renegotiating loans, and attempting to secure other relief from banks. Further, number of insolvency petitions would have enormously increased before the NCLT. So this step would reduce the burden on the tribunal, which could in turn help the tribunal in speedy disposal of pending matters, and it will increase the efficiency of dealing with the pending matters. I think this new section is also a savior for corporate debtors. Having said that, this new section also comes with a number of challenges that could throw it under the bus. Now let's see what are those challenges. This section poses a series of problems for all stakeholders, especially the financial creditors and the operational creditors. After this section is notified and implemented, the creditors will have to wait for a period of more than 6 months to initiate the insolvency proceedings, and then again for a period of 330 days to recover their dues. The period of 330 days we discussed in our last video. Now, operational creditors are also likely to face much serious effects of this new Section 10A, as they are directly related to the business operations of their debtors, and the financial distress grows bigger when these operational creditors are unable to pay their own creditors, and all this creates a domino effect. Now, this kind of cycle throws out many businesses. Further, there is now more risk for the creditors, as all the assets are in control of the debtors, who may end up alienating those assets without informing their creditors. Also, it is likely that the value of assets have decreased due to the receding recession situation today. So, the creditors will not be now able to realize their full value, thereby affecting the value of debt due to the creditors. As we already discussed that this provision is a breather for corporate debtors, but the creditors have to face the real repercussion of this provision. Will this section take the entire IBC legislation a few years back is yet to be explored. I would just like to conclude by saying that the suspension of for 6 months is a step in the right direction in the current situation. However, I think it is necessary to create an enabling framework for quick resolution of debt outside the IBC framework. The current framework of RBI does not have enough force to bind all creditors. It would be important to introduce law which makes debt resolution through majority decision binding on all creditors, with adequate safeguards for those impaired classes of creditors, that is, those creditors which are paid less than what is owed to them. I think, in my opinion, while an insolvency petition from creditors should be suspended in these situations, a voluntary reference to insolvency should be allowed. Now, because if the existing management is of the view that resolution under insolvency law is the best solution, then no further time should be spent on any other efforts for debt resolution, since delays would only lead to decrease in the value. Thank you for watching this video, and do let me know your feedback in the comments below. You can also contact me through my LinkedIn or email me. The links are provided here in the slide. Please subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel, Madam Attorney, to keep yourself legally apprised. Thank you.